What's up, y'all?
Hey, hey, a little intros popping.
Okay, little vibe, little vibe. So, welcome to another episode of Mothering Together. This is an original podcast series, part of the maternal outreach movement, powered by Birthing Beautiful Communities. I am Road Digger,
I'm Bijou Star. Hey.
and what we talking about today?
So we're going to talk about moms and working, the different types of working moms, right?
Yeah,
Nowadays, a lot of moms work, okay?
right,
A little
right.
bit different than it was in the past, right? But now you got to find a way to get to the coins. And there's a lot of different types of working moms. And it's really
Yeah.
important to a lot of people to talk about how we balance it all.
Absolutely. And for a lot of us, like Bijou said, whether it's like traditional or just new for you because you're a new mom, it looks different for everybody. So I know a lot of things changed for us moms when the pandemic touched down. So of course we'll touch on that, but it looks different for everybody and there's no rhyme or reason. If it works for these moms, and it works for these moms, and maybe the stories that we share today can kind of help bring some ease and some pointers and some tips to the working mom today. So let's jump right into corporate then.
All right. So there is a challenge of, being a mom working in corporate America. That's a challenge in general, being in corporate America, but to also try to balance being a mom and also
Yeah.
doing it. I have to say, like, our experience in corporate America is a smidge different, right? Because we have a little bit more relaxed environment that we
Mhm.
happen to work in radio. But, corporate America can be kind of, tighten up. You got to be like
Yeah.
really like it can be stressful because there's a lot that comes along with it. And so you want to you want to grow, you want to ascend in your career a lot of times, but we also know that at home there's a lot of responsibilities there that can sometimes pull you away from work, right? And
Mhm.
these are a lot of challenges that moms have to face. Now, fathers do as well, but we see, statistically that women who are, trying to balance motherhood and being in professional spaces like corporate America, it seems to be the challenges are different. They're
Yeah.
different because of how we have to try to navigate through that, as well as not feeling that mommy guilt,
Yeah.
that can come with being really ambitious and having dreams and goals that you want to reach outside of being a mother. It can put a lot of, tension on not only the household situation, but also, like I said, that mental feeling of like inadequacy, like, am I not doing enough with my kids because
Mhm.
I'm so busy trying to ascend this corporate ladder? So there's a lot, but there are ways to navigate through that. Naturally, you have to try to. I think everybody's ultimate goal in life is to find balance, right? We're
Right.
always just searching for some sort of balance, and it's not a linear path. Everybody's path is different to how they find their balance. You can, honestly, for me, a way that I really just find my way to like center and focus is through prayer and meditation. Me just having my spiritual grounding is where I find my answers and how to kind of, okay, how to get this all and kind of woosai, right? To realize
Right.
it's not all on my shoulders. I have to give up a lot of the burdens because it can get too heavy. So I feel like, you find the things that bring you peace, whether it be hobbies, like I said, whether it be your spiritual relationship, whether it be just getting together every once in a while with your friends, people who have the same interests, who are also kind of, in the corporate that realm with you, who can relate as moms, finding a space where you can feel safe in talking about those things and kind of releasing. I think a lot of times, Ro, like keeping it in makes it worse.
Yeah. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
You said a couple of things that definitely stood out to me. And one is the whole guilt. We work, like you said, in a different kind of corporate America. I don't get into work till about 2:30. Where for a lot of people, I know you start at 10, but there's people who get in at 8:30 in the morning and it's like 8:30 to 5:30 or whatever their time
Mhm.
is. Or you have women who are working the very late night shifts. So everybody's corporate looks different. Even though we might have some similarities and relatability in it. But I agree with you in the piece. Like, we know how stressful work is, whatever your job is. If it's something as minute as, you're sitting at a desk all day, or if you're out in the field and you're literally like grind mode, you know what I mean? Like, whatever that looks like for you, you have to find some sort of peace. Because I think when it comes to us being mothers, because we take on so much guilt, and because we have so much going on, we want to be powerful women. We want to be happy in ourselves because we know when we're happy in ourselves, we can be happier as a mother, as a wife, as a whatever we are, right? A friend. So that piece is so clutch. And when you said, keeping things in and talking about it, I think when we are stressed out or when we are burnt out, we have to utilize our circle. We have to utilize, I mean, first, obviously, if talk to God, one and for sure, but utilizing your circle to just vent sometimes, just to release. I know if you don't have a circle, journaling is something that I love to do.
Mm.
I have a regular journal. And so for me,
Yeah.
that is a very needed necessity in my day to day, just to kind of like unwind. And then a lot of times too, people talk about like therapy and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's kind of got this stigma behind it. But I feel like because we do so much, and for a lot of us, there's so much expectation, especially as a working mom. We take on so much emotionally, physically, spiritually, all these things. So don't ever be afraid to like go talk to somebody that's not a friend, that's an unbiased person. A lot of
Mhm.
times it's covered by medical, and that's definitely clutch. But,
Yeah.
just to have that time for you, because corporate jobs and just corporate life, on top of being a mom, we already know, like it goes without saying, it's a lot of work. We
Yeah.
already bust our behinds at our jobs, and then we got to come home. And whether you're a single mother or you have um,
Right.
father in the house, or you have a grandparent that's helping you in the house, still it's a lot of work. So
It's a
finding that
lot.
peace, that balance is definitely clutch.
For sure, for sure. And like you said, I'm kind of happy the stigma is kind of coming off though of mental health and getting that help that you need, especially in the Black community and the communities of color, because we have always been just like, we strong, we can handle it. We don't
Right.
need anybody to tell us anything. And like, listen, yes, sis, you do. Okay. Like talk to somebody. It can be a counselor wherever you feel safe. There's counselors in church. There are counselors who are working specifically with families
Yeah.
and relationships. And then sometimes you have to take it a step up if you have to speak to a psychiatrist. If you need medication, there are levels to this, and you have to
Yeah.
realize what is necessary and don't feel afraid to ask for that help. That is so real right there.
Yeah, for real.
So, what
Um,
other types of working moms we have?
yes, we have the entrepreneur mom, the mom that's got her own business. That is the HNIC of what she does. And I know we both can speak to that. And again, on top of what we were talking about with corporate, there's even more guilt, because now you're talking about a mom who is literally like, if that's your only thing that you've got going on is your business, like you're putting your heart, you're putting blood, sweat, and tears into that. So it's like even more of just a like, oh my gosh, like did I bite off more than I can chew?
Mm,
But I think again, just finding that balance. I think when you're an entrepreneur, one of the things that I appreciate about it, just on top of doing what we do, because we do have the flexibility in what you and I do, which is a blessing for sure. It's really just being organized. Organization is like my thing. You know what
you're
I'm
so
saying? Like
organized.
I'm talking about from the second I get up. Sometimes I do it at night. I really try to itemize my day, because I know that there's going to be so many factors that play into one, what I have to do on the radio, what I have to do for my business, and then what I have to do as a mom, and stuff like that. So it's like just really organizing my day, making sure that I really set aside time for not just the things that I have to do for the business, but for my child, because I don't know about you, B, but I run mine out of my home. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
for the time being. So I'm literally trying to make sure he's good and out the way while I'm doing what I got to do. And so it's like just, really creating that balance in the home, in my space, to make sure I can do my due diligence in the things that I love to do, because I'm passionate about my business. I'm passionate about being on the radio. So it's like, but I'm passionate about being a mom. So, just really trying to own in on, I think balance really is like the word of the day.
It is. It is. It is. And go ahead, give you a shameless plug. What's your business? Tell them so they can
Yeah,
support.
so it's Curly Heads LLC, and basically it's a business I started out with my sister. It's a natural hair care line, and I'm not just saying it because it's mine, but it really is bomb. Like it's really helping women just get their natural hair journey back on track, growing your hair, keeping your scalp healthy, all natural ingredients. And so yeah, I'll plug that. But let's
I
talk about
love
yours.
that. I'm just no, listen, we're all in the same family. Hair family over here. I sell hair, power hair
Yeah.
collection, as well as hair care as well. Our joy hair. So we got a lot. Listen, and this one thing we know: women love beauty stuff, but we are going to support each other. That's why I said say it
Yes.
so that we can continue to support. The circle of support is what is also so meaningful, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you are a
Yes.
mom, because yo, it's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's hard to try to
A
create
lot of
a
work.
space where you can, to carve out your space and to be able to make money off of that. And so I think a huge part of being an entrepreneur mother is really that, like that support circle of other entrepreneur moms who can relate to the struggle and who can also help to support you wherever you might have issues, where you might be lacking. Somebody else to say, oh, okay, I was going through that. Let me tell you what I did. Boom, boom, boom. All these types of things are so, to me, so integral to women and just us being successful,
Yeah.
because a lot of times there are things that we can ask males, but they can't necessarily give us that perspective that we could get from each other. You know what I'm saying? I truly
Yeah.
believe that that is something so special just to us. We're like, listen, we're doing this, but we have these kind of pitfalls that maybe another somebody may not have. And so we can get that insight from each other. And that literally just comes from being open and supportive with one another and not feeling intimidated to talk about what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody, it might feel like you're alone in what the issue is, but it's always somebody who's been through it too. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? That's the one thing that you can guarantee. You are not the first to go through it and you won't be the last. So when
Yeah.
you are like really, you're looking for, like I said, advice and things like that, somebody's got it. You just got to vocalize that you need it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You just got to reach out for that support and find a tribe of people who are willing to, really just help to pour into you. And I have found that to be such a support for me when we openly are like, listen, we are all trying to do this and let's help each other. How can we help each other? It's collaboration over competition. And I think
Yeah.
that's what I think a lot of entrepreneurs battle with, is trying to figure out, where can I, feel safe and not feel like I have to be in competition. But I think it's literally about understanding it literally is room for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So especially, like I say, with women, we got to just hold hands through this, baby, because it's hard. Okay, especially with the kids.
Yeah.
Especially with the kids. I think that takes it to the max when you've got to find a way to get your kids to daycare, to get your kids back from school, to get your kids to sports, whoever and they'll let you have some active children who have
Okay.
games and who have clubs that they are part of and you it's like, how do you do it? Like I say, thank God if there is another person, another parent in the
Mhm.
household, or another family member who helps to carry that load. But baby, it's all about the village. It's
It is
all
all about the village.
it's
And I
all
like what you said about finding your tribe. I think sometimes we can take that as like, I need new friends. You don't need new friends necessarily. You just might need to surround yourself with like people. And those can be essentially new friends, but it doesn't mean just completely disregard the people that you done grew up with, that's your ace and stuff like that.
yeah,
It just means that, like
yeah.
she said, you have to find people who are like-minded, who are in like situations, who can relate to what you got going on, because the language is going to be different. You're not
Yeah,
talking to somebody where
yeah.
it's going over their head like, girl, I don't know nothing about that. I ain't got no kids. You're right. Why am I talking to you? But I know a lot of people still utilize Facebook groups and stuff like that. So there's
Facebook groups are
out.
clutch. Oh, I have found a lot of support in Facebook groups.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't
Really?
sleep on the resources that are literally right at your fingertip. Like, you can find anything. Okay, like you can literally find a support group for anything. And if you don't have a circle, just look. It's literally right there. And then one more thing I wanted to stress is just the organization. I really feel like, especially for women who have their own business, and because we're pulled into this direction and this
Yeah.
direction, and in most cases in 2024, even if you have a business of your own, that ain't all you're doing. Most people are wearing so many hats. You do have another corporate job. You have your business. You have this. You have these other things that you're doing. Some people are volunteering their time in between that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Mhm.
and you're a mother. So I know for a lot of us, we're doing it. It's like we say, I'm doing it for my babies. I'm doing it for you. All this is for you. And yes, it is. But just remember too that you got to just make that time to, just care for you, to like prioritize yourself as a mom, because it doesn't just mean doing the mommy duties that we do in the home. Like, it is taking care of ourselves and making sure our health is good, making sure our mental health is good, making sure that we're on top of our business, so that we don't basically crumble. So just organize as best you can. Like, some of us have multiple kids. I have one, but he's like four. But at the end of the day, like, just organize as best you can. Try your best to get a planner. Use your phone calendar, set reminders for yourself, and don't be afraid to just step outside your comfort zone. If that's not you, do it, because it could really help with what you're doing as a working mom, so that you don't have to feel that guilt. And you really, and I know some people will be like, well, I don't really want to set an appointment to spend time with my child. Well, unfortunately, that's something you might have to do to kind of get the ball rolling if you've been used to doing the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now you can honestly make a conscious decision and effort to be like, you know what? No, my child right now or my children right now are more important than me answering 20 emails. These emails can wait. Like, just create that space for yourself to where you have the organization, where you feel comfortable enough to be able to be like, you know what, I can balance all this as best you can. And it's okay if it's not perfect, because we're not perfect,
100%.
So.
Dub that if I didn't have my phone reminders, y'all think it might, I remind myself to do the simplest things, no lie. That's how my brain is set up. You got to know self, okay? Know thyself. I will put a reminder on there to take some out the freezer. Because listen, I forgot to take the ground turkey out. I got to put that on my reminder because I be mad when it's not, I need it to be defrosted by this time.
Look, somebody said, it was a meme that said, listen. It was a meme that said, I know now what my mother meant when she said, make sure you take that chicken out the freezer, because if you don't, whole night ruined. Like, ain't no dinner this way.
100%. So those reminders and a planner. And I'm nowhere near as organized as Ro. That is a personality type. I have to work on that every day. Okay. I am like, and that's why I say everybody doesn't have it naturally. So if you're like me, who has to work hard to be organized, listen, it really does help change things, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, it makes it so much clearer. But let's go on.
They do. And real quick, just want to remind you guys that, again, this is our way of connecting with mothers. And so make sure you guys are tapping in and sharing with other mothers or other women, period, because we have women that are watching that ain't no mama yet. And they like, wait a second, let me get this wisdom real quick. So yes, please share at zhiphopcleveland.com and wzakcleveland.com. That's where you will find our episodes. But stay at home, Mom Bijou. What's that all about?
That's what I strive to be one day, honey.
I think we all do.
Listen, I say one day, Lord, okay? If it all works out, I can pass the business, all that. I sell it. Somebody can buy it. Okay. I can be a stay-at-home mom. But, I'm not going to lie. I'll probably always be into doing something, right? That's just me. But the stay-at-home mom is a job in itself. Now, I do not have that personal experience, right? But I have grandmothers who did so. And I would tell you, well, one grandma, the other one did work. But the one grandmother who had 4 boys, you needed to stay at home with them 4 big-head boys. Because, no, seriously, it is a full-time job taking care of an entire family. And anybody who says it is not, you will lie. You will lie and tell them I told you so. Listen, I commend people, mothers who literally have devoted their lives to nurturing, raising, and taking care of their family.
Absolutely.
They say, listen, I'm not working, but my job is in this house. That's real deal. Okay, I've got 2 toddlers. If I had 24/7 in there with them, I wouldn't have no hair on my head. I would be crazy because listen, it is really serious like that. But what I'm saying is I love that there are people who have the ability, and that's a blessing if you're able to be a stay-at-home mom, right? All of us don't have that, but if you're able to be a stay-at-home mom and someone else has to worry about being out in the field and making the money and you're able to do so, I think that is just, to me, that is one of the most noble and commendable things, right, to do. And I think people sometimes might put shame on women in our day and age because that's looked at as something that is like old school. Oh, you at home? What you mean you a stay-at-home mom? But listen, baby, most of us who out here working wish we could, but it's not like that. So what I'm saying is for those who do have that position in life, who have chosen to stay at home and raise the kids, like I said, that is a hard job. That's a lot. And there's a lot that goes into that. And what you see a lot of times, and I think to me, that ability to give that type of attention to the home, I think really does make a difference. I think that makes a difference when you're able to be at the house all the time, with your kids. Now, I do understand that there are a lot of challenges that come along with being there because you might feel alone. You might feel like, sheesh, I'm doing all this here and I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the same overwhelming feeling of having a lot of responsibilities when we're at work, you might feel like at home because you know, you're looked at as, listen, you're here. So you got to handle everything in this house, right?
Yeah.
You know, from top to bottom. And like I said, I have not had that experience, so I don't know, but I can only imagine where you are responsible for doing so much more in the house because, like I said, if you're there, that might be just the job, right? How you guys have it broken down, you and your spouse. So like I said, shout out to the moms who, you know, are at home and taking care of those kids 24 hours a day, not just the kids, your family, your husband,
Yeah.
your
The whole
spouse, because
household.
that is literally, that's what you do, man. And that is no joke right there. So shouts to the moms who do that. And like I said, for those feelings of isolation and feeling like nobody can relate, we gonna take it back to the tribe thing. You find you some other stay-at-home moms because I guarantee they feel you too and they understand the pain. And you know, those are the things that can help you. And those Facebook groups, do not sleep on the Facebook groups. Like I said, you will find somebody who can relate and who you can talk to, or better yet, even if you don't even speak in the Facebook groups, I've gotten just a lot of information just being in Facebook groups, you know, you might get insight that you didn't have, like, oh, I didn't think of it like that, or I didn't know that was out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, you find different places, and once you start to broaden your horizons, you know, you find different spaces that really are welcoming for you.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I don't know if you want to speak on the stay at home mom.
I guess more so just kind of piggybacking off of what you said, but something in particular that kind of stuck out. And I feel like this is just a stigma in life. A lot of times, like we say relatable, right? We want to be around people relatable. We want to find people who are doing what we're doing and all that good stuff. But a lot of times on top of that, we're um triggered by, are we supposed to do it like this person? Are we supposed to move and act like this person? And that whole comparison. And I just feel like that's the part I just don't want mothers to fall into the trap of, because again, we started this conversation off with moms, and working moms in general looks different for everybody, right?
Mhm.
And we know that there are women and moms who have mothers and grandmothers who will be like, you shouldn't be raising your child like that, or why are you doing that, or why are you doing that? And now you've got this like weight on you, like, wait a second, am I doing this right? Am I not doing it right? Like, don't pay attention to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously find your people, find your peace, whatever that looks like. But at the end of the day, because everybody's situation is different and looks different, hello, am I there?
I see you.
I don't see y'all. Okay, well, I'm just keep talking.
Yeah, you look clear. I see you
Okay, there you go.
clearly.
My screen is like glitching and going black. Okay, hater. But yeah, let me just get to the point before it cut me off. So everybody's situation is different. Don't compare. Just if it's working for you, let it be your situation, right? Like, and just make it work for the best that you can, because I just feel like there's so many people and there's so many outlets that be like, no, you should be mothering like this and working mom should do it like that. But that's not always the case. You know, if it works for you, find what works for you and do it, because at the end of the day, we're doing our best. Every day we get up, we're doing our best. We already have so much to, you know, just weigh on us with the working part, but just to be a mom is already a job in itself. We know that, especially for a stay-at-home mom, because that is your job. People will say, well, are you? Well, that's your job, or whatever the case may be, but it's a job in its whole self. So be proud of yourself, whatever your working situation looks like, whether you're stay at home, you own your own business, corporate, whatever that looks like. Just be proud of yourself, because you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you're
I
doing it. You're literally doing this motherhood on top of working, which is so crazy, but it just goes to show you how strong we are. Like, women ain't nothing to play with. And I ain't trying to get up
period.
here and be like, I love the men, I love the fathers, I love those roles, but we really are a force.
No,
And
period.
use that to your advantage, because he ain't played when he made us. He ain't
That's
played.
on that. That's on that. Period. No, seriously, that's 100%, man. I love that. I love that 100%. That's why I say, like, I love, and just piggybacking just a bit off the stay at home mom. It's crazy because I never in my life, like before I had kids, like full transparency moment, I was like, I could never, like, I would never stay at home. Like, what?
Now you
No,
like,
like
yes,
but it's for reasons I never knew until I became a mom. It's
yeah,
like I truly believe that, like, you know, I get why there was a nurturer in the home on a consistent basis. I get it now. And that's, I think, just the maturity and my perspective, right? Me having to leave when I have children who have these different needs, right? That I want to be there for, to help them through. And the way I even see how, daycare and school is positioned to where there are things that I disagree with or do agree with, whatever that case, I want to be in control of that, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, because that we're outside of the home and we're working, we are not able to be in control of a lot of things that we would like to, as a result of that. So, like, being like, I would love to be with my kids at least up until school age every day, right? And those, with them not having to go off to a daycare, but I can't. So this is why, like I said, prior to having kids, I was like, never stay at home, mom. How you do that, girl? Yuck. It's like, no, I get it now. I get that these things are necessary because
Yeah.
I want things, to be done a certain way with the way my kids are raised. So,
Yeah.
like I say, it really comes with just your own personal experiences, your own ideals, and the things that you believe in. And that is really just like what you said. How you feel is how you feel about things. And you shouldn't be made to feel guilty about that. If you have chosen to, let's say, stop working to take care of your kids or to homeschool, because that would my ultimate goal would be to homeschool. So if you have said, you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my career to the side so that I can be at home and homeschool my kids, or that I can be a more integral part in their lives. There's so many reasons that we make the decisions that we make, and it is up to us to live the best lives that we can for us possible, because nobody else is taking care. Let me not say nobody's taking care of our kids. People help us, but they're
Right.
our kids at the end of the day, right? So it's our job to do the best that we can to our abilities. So however that looks is how that looks. You know what I'm saying?
And give yourself grace, moms. Give yourself grace, because like I said, you're doing it, and even if it means picking up new habits, if it's, like I said, the calendars, it's the reminders, it's meal prepping, it's setting reminders to spend time with your children. Again, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but if that's what you have to do, then do it. But give yourself grace through it, because we're moms, we're working moms, and that's a lot. That's a lot. It's very heavy a lot of times. So just be graceful with yourself, and just remember that aside from getting them coins, however you get them coins, we are still moms. And our role in the household and the family is so vital, is so crucial, is so important, and it's so needed. So don't ever lose sight of that, because our babies need us, and they need us happy, peaceful, strong, mentally, physically, all of that. So whether you're making a buku lot of money or a little bit of money, it don't matter, because you're still a mom. And to me, that's the most important thing. So,
Yes.
do your best there and trust that everything else is going to fall in place.
Yeah, so Mothering Together is an original podcast series, part of the maternal outreach movement, and it is powered by Birthing Beautiful Communities. We gotta let you know who's bringing us here today.
Okay.
All right, we've been actually talking about this the whole time. This our tips of like work balance.
I know, just throw them in there
with your calendars. You've been talking about that.
Yeah. Yep. So just again, whatever works for you, stick to it. If you have to adjust a little bit. But that's the good thing about being a working mom. I mean, you're versatile. There's so much versatility in that. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, there's so much versatility in that. That's the great thing about being moms and being working moms. So however that looks, however that feels, just make sure you do what's best for you in that household.
Period.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about the family planners and the calendars and the alerts and whatnot. Do you have a specific app that you like, Ro, that you use for your like organizing?
No.
No.
It being here, like you said, I really am. Organization has been a part of my life since forever. I attested to my mother because I got it from her. But
okay.
I just naturally, I don't know if it's like the OCD too on top of that. Like I'm a note taker. I'm gonna put it in my notes in my calendar, or it just be logged in here. I don't really use apps because it's too much. But if you have an app, do you?
I've tried different ones, to be 100% honest. I think what helps me to lock it in my brain easier is writing it down.
Yeah.
So I'll type things like there are different apps. And like, I like to use the one that already comes with, I don't know what they have on those androids, but if they have the notes and the reminders on the Apple. Y'all know how it is, gang. It'd be like the Apple gang, Droid gang. But they have the reminders that it's already on your Apple. And so your iPhone. And so I use that a lot because I had tried all these different apps and I was paying for a monthly. I'm like, why am I doing this? I could just use this reminder. So
Right.
listen, there are a lot of different things that you can do. Like, especially like if you're like, having to post on social media as a part of your business, there are different cool, like Planoly. I love Planoly for doing that. Like having like they like set it up so you can like, do your batching. And so you can post those things in advance. So I think those help too. And actually on Instagram now, there's a plan in advance. So you can actually schedule
Oh,
your post in advance on there. So I think that helps a lot if you are doing things in your business or in your personal life. You're like an influencer, like I said, if you have a business that you have to
yeah.
post for, those type of things help a lot because it takes time. It takes
Yep.
time to do all those things. So if you can batch that stuff and have it ready to go and you don't have to think about it, that makes so much of a difference in certain aspects, right? So those
Yeah.
are just a couple of little things you can use depending on what works for your lifestyle and what you have going on. But I think that I think you guys really got a good kind of idea of the different types of positions that mothers play outside of the home when it comes to, I guess I get you. I'm gonna call that work the stay at home. I'm a working mom too, because listen, she
Yeah,
working.
she a
She
working
just don't
mom.
get paid for her work. That's the difference. That's
Listen,
the difference.
I know we can't say we're officially working moms, but that pandemic, that staying at home what did we stay at home for almost 2 years?
It was 2 years.
Yeah, like
I had
I
a whole
mean,
baby. Listen, let me tell you, that pandemic got me a whole second child. Okay, listen, listen. Yeah, staying at home. Listen, you gotta be careful staying at home.
yeah, you gotta be careful.
Y'all
Listen,
family can expand. Okay, that's what
yeah, a
happened.
lot of families did expand. So,
Yes, yes,
but
yes.
just
So
I think we touched on so many like awesome things, and I really hope that you guys soak that in and share it because this is real, and this is stuff that we're dealing with daily as working moms. But I do want to just kind of like wrap up what we've said in like this short sentence I'm literally looking at. And it says, encourage setting realistic expectations and being kind to oneself. Because again, everybody's situation looks different. And despite what you were taught, what you see, what you know, what you feel, everybody's situation looks different. So what's realistic for you, focus on that. And then just
yes,
truly, truly, truly be kind to yourself because some of us don't have support. Some of us are overworked.
yes.
Some of us have a house full of kids. It just looks different, but treat yourself with love and kindness and just create that peace for yourself because that's a really, really big step into just being overall better as a mom and as a working mom. So
Yes, and give yourself
yeah,
grace. I had to really learn to give myself grace. I
absolutely.
used to beat up on myself, for expectations that if I
Hmm.
couldn't reach these things, or if I wasn't able to do, and I was like feeling like, you feel like you're not good enough, you're not doing enough, but give yourself grace because
Yeah,
perfection it's not attainable. We the best that you can do is the best.
it
That
is
is
the
it,
best.
literally. So make sure you watch our episodes of Mothering Together and get more maternal info at wzakkcleveland.com/mom or zhipopcleveland.com/mom.
Yes, Mothering Together again is an original podcast series, part of the Maternal Outreach Movement, powered by Birthing Beautiful Communities. And shout out to them. Shout out to you guys for tapping in today. Again, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And then be ready for the next episode.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Mwah!